The Chicago Bears offensive line has been dealt a couple of major blows early on in training camp. Let's talk about it starting now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talking Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. So, per Brad Biggs, center Lucas Patrick will require surgery on his right hand. Now, this early into training camp, there's likely optimism he will be available sooner rather than later, perhaps before the season opener. But here's why this is still a major blow. You just brought in two brand new pieces to your team in Michael Schofield and Riley Reiff, right? The offensive line is all about building a cohesion between five different guys all moving as one, especially with what they want to do with Justin Fields, right? And the efficiency that he showed in a rolling pocket. You're talking about probably having to build up this chemistry during the season now, because he's not going to be there throughout all of training camp, probably most of preseason, based on what this surgery is going to be now. Does that mean that chemistry can't be built up heading into the season? No, but when you're talking about coming into this season opener, having to face a couple of starting dominant defenses to start off the season, you would like to have your starting center in the building. Oh, by the way, the guy who also is the guy that Luke Getsy really wants to be there so that he can tell them how to run the offense that's brand new to the entire team and can implement all that. You see where the issues are coming in here, right? Like, this is a huge blow for the Chicago Bears to start this thing off. Now, it does open an opportunity up for Doug Kramer Jr. to step in, the rookie out of Illinois, and get some starts at center. He's the guy that they've gone to. He's starting with the first team today. But this is a huge loss for the Chicago Bears to start the season, because you're talking about a guy right now that is the leader of everything that you want to do on this offense, especially with new guys coming in, with Michael Schofield, with Riley Reiff coming in, with Cody Whitehair going back to his original position, with the young guys on this team that you have right now. You want to have your best player, your best leader out there. And I understand it's injury. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing that you can only wait for him to get back, right? But this is a major blow to the Chicago Bears early in the season. I understand Bears fans are going to say, hey, look, it's fine. He'll be back. He'll be back soon. But that stuff doesn't work. And you got to remember, the two guys that we got here signed to help Justin Fields, they're only here for a season, right? So you want to take advantage of this protection as much as possible. Maybe it does expand out and they stay a little bit longer, but you want to take advantage of this protection as much as possible. And you want to take advantage of them learning, of them being able to teach these young guys the position and them being elevated. To me, this is a tough start to your training camp. This is a tough start for your offensive line, and this is a start to the season that could put the Bears moving in the wrong direction early on. If you had some hope for this season, right, like, this isn't what you wanted to hear. Now, I will say this. There's a lot of opportunity in this. Maybe we're able to find a diamond in the rough. Maybe this is a spot where Tevin Jenkins can find some favor again, because it seems like he's fallen a little bit out of favor. And we'll talk about that. Before I do that, man, please, I want to hear from you guys, man. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. Do you think that this is a major blow to the Chicago Bears 2022 season, that Lucas Patrick is already having to require surgery? Or is it just, hey, it's early enough, we'll be fine? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. So the other thing as well, right? Tevin Jenkins not on the field for the Chicago Bears. Don't know if this is due to injury. Don't know if this is due to him falling out of favor. Don't know if this is a combination of both, because if it is due to injury, right, there's a concern there. You're talking about another lineman that you expected to be a starting offensive lineman coming into the season, not being there for the third day at training camp, not being on the field, not being prepared to go. That's big for the Bears, because you're talking about two guys that you expected to be a part of your starting lineup not being there. Now you're hoping, right, maybe there's something with Doug Kramer where, you know, he's better than we expected. You've got Cody Whitehair, you've got Larry Borum, you got Riley Reiff, you got Michael Schofield, and it all works itself out. But this could also be a situation where Tevin Jenkins might be able to find himself back in a little bit of favor if healthy, right? Because it did seem like he'd fallen out of favor. When they talked about Tevin Jenkins in these post-practice interviews, they've talked about him like, is he expected to be a swing tackle? Is he expected to be your guy that's kind of just the plug-in guy, right? The sixth lineman on on this thing where you're good enough, but like, you're not good enough to be in our starting lineup. That's not what you expected from your second pick in the draft last season. That's not what I was expecting to have when you're drafted that high, right? And it seems like Tevin Jenkins, practice by practice by practice, is quickly falling out of favor with this new Bears regime, and they're looking to go other directions early on here. Now, again, right? We've heard that he woke up with some tweaks. There's been some injury issues and things like that. That's another concern altogether, right? Because we're talking about the dude that came into the NFL with a bad back, who already had some injury concerns. The injury concerns continue to pile up. I told you, when those big guys start to get injuries, they usually don't just go away magically. They usually don't just disappear. And so, to me, this is a big thing of, okay, yeah, he's feeling some tweaks and things early on here. Could this be a sign of something bigger to come? Could this be a sign of the path that we're going to be led down with Tevin Jenkins? He was a second-round pick, y'all. It's a major pick. Those are picks that are supposed to be stars in your NFL. This ain't the NBA where second-round picks don't mean that. This is huge. And so for me, I really want to see what Tevin Jenkins, and listen, there's not enough information about Tevin Jenkins out there where I can say, like, he's done, he's going to be terrible, he's going to be like, I'm not going that far. I think that Tevin actually has talent and can be there, but the biggest question for me is, can he be on the field and can he build up favor with this new regime? Those are a couple of things that I think we can at a minimum talk about surrounding Tevin Jenkins. So not a great start to training camp, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Not a great start to what the Bears want to do. Not a great start putting our best foot forward here. We're still hearing good things about a lot of the players, right? Bayless Jones showing us some good things, Justin Fields, a lot of that. But your offensive line is the most important part of your team. And we've talked about how Ryan Pace fixed up this offensive line, and now it's starting to get a little bit broken again. So hopefully this thing starts moving in the right direction soon. Hopefully we see some good plays out of Doug Kramer Jr. today. Hopefully we see some good plays out of this offensive line today, able to protect Justin Fields. We'll see what happens with that, man. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and rocking with us as always, man. To continue watching our Chicago Bears content, click the links on the screen or check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.